Hey, this is Matthew Caws from Not a Surf, answering your questions from the 1-877 WASTOIDS hotline. First, I want to say that all the questions included a statement like, so looking forward to the new record. So thank you so much. So glad you're looking forward to it, and we can't wait for you to hear it.
Hey Matthew, I'm so excited about the new record release. I'm just curious about your past influences and what things have really kind of, formed you as an artist, and specifically how much Elliott Smith has come to play in that. So I guess my question directly is, what is your favorite Elliott Smith song and why is it so great? I appreciate your input, and thank you so much for your time, and can't wait for your record to come out. Thanks so much.
My influences early on were things like The Who, Echo and the Bunnymen, REM, Talking Heads. A little later, things like Television and New Order. But Elliott Smith was a really, really big deal for me. I heard Either Or first, and then went back and got the first two. I loved him. We were really lucky to go on tour with him for a bit more than a week. Really, really lovely guy. My favorite song might be St. Ides Heaven. It's just so ecstatic. High on amphetamines, the moon is a light bulb breaking. The melody is so beautiful, and that vocal by Rebecca Gates from the Spinanes. It's just a gorgeous song, but so many of his are. He's the kind of artist where if, naming your favorite is, it's hard because it's like a 40-way tie for first, but yeah, big deal, big influence.
Hey Matthew, I was just wondering, I'm out here in Arizona and just popped a tire. I was wondering if you knew how to repair it. Thanks. All right, bye.
Man, I hope you got to change it okay or got help. I admit I've never changed a tire. I've watched my father do it many times. I know how it works. However, the bottom of our car growing up looked simpler than the bottom of my car, and the jack looked simpler. I will tell you that a week ago I was playing at a wedding in the south of France, and I was driving along a dark road after a dinner, and I heard this crazy sound and felt something totally alien to me, and it's that I'd blown a tire. I was driving on the rim for a couple hundred meters, just thinking of what I was going to do, and that felt bad. I could just tell I was about to start ruining the wheel on this rental. So I pulled over, and some other people who'd been at the same dinner party recognized my car, pulled over, and they drove me to the hotel. But I flashed my flashlight around and found that I was on this totally empty road. I was right in front of a tire shop, the entrance to a tire shop. So that was super lucky, and I got down there the next day and I got it fixed in time. But now that you've said that, I feel like I should probably do a trial run on my car so I can help myself if I ever run into trouble. All right, well, hope you got wherever you were going safe.
Hey Matthew, this is Brian from Totally Real Records. Very much looking forward to the new record, and this is something that has been in the back of my mind ever since I first heard the song Happy Kid. The line about being a sad punk. I always wondered if that was a intentional reference to the Pixies song, The Sad Punk, or not. Anyway, excited for the new record, and thanks for taking my silly question.
Brian from Totally Real Records, thank you so much for your question. The Sad Punk and Happy Kid is not a reference to the Pixies song. I kind of wish it was. But I love that song. Hadn't thought of it in a while. Thank you for reminding me of it. It's not. Well, that's not much of an answer. It's just a no. But, subliminally, maybe. I love the Pixies to death and listened to them nonstop for a couple of years back there somewhere, and it probably all seeped in. So maybe yes.
Hey, Matthew. My name is Zach. I'm calling on behalf of Connor Tassel, arguably your greatest fan. And it's in regards to the Pokemon drinking game. There's a tile on the Pokemon drinking game that says, challenge someone to a chugging contest. First to finish gets an extra turn. Last to finish loses a turn. Does the chugging contest require a fresh beer, or are the two people in the chugging contest chugging what is left of the beer they already have? This is a crucial answer to a question that we really need answered to finish this game. So if you could answer this question, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you. And please, on the next tour, play Killian's Red. Connor would appreciate Killian's Red.
Hello, Zach and Connor. I think you have to start with a fresh beer. I think the idea of contest, it needs to be as equal a playing field, as even a playing field as possible, and I think if it's down to the chance of where you are on your beverage, that seems unfair. So I think fresh beer, and we will try to play Killian's Red. If you come to a show, thank you ahead of time so much.
Hi, Matthew. My question is, at this point in your life, do you still mow your own grass? And if so, what do you listen to music while you do it? Because I like to listen to Not a Surf while I'm mowing the grass. So just throw that out there. Laters.
I did mow my own grass until very recently, when the hedge that we have started to be too tall and was getting into our neighbor's yard, and we needed tools bigger than the hedge trimmer that I had. So the last couple of times somebody else has mowed the lawn, but I am still a lawnmower myself type person. And if you listen to Not a Surf when you're mowing the lawn, I am really delighted, because that's a huge compliment, because I only listen to my very favorite music when I'm doing chores or housework or garden work. So thank you. What do I listen to? I listen to a lot of rap while gardening, but recently the Early Birds singles or something I go back to. Early Birds as in, not a band called the Early Birds, but I mean the Birds CBS singles as in Turn to Return, etc. That's really happy music for me, so I enjoy blissing out while trimming a shrub.
Hi, yes, I'm wondering if you have a favorite Green Day album and or song. Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear the new album. Bye.
I'm not super familiar with Green Day. I've heard the singles. I think they're amazing. I think my favorite record is probably Dookie, because it's the first one I heard, and that's when I really fell for their sound, like right away, and their velocity. How excited and tight they are. But, when I hear like When September Ends or whatever that song is called, when I hear it like while pumping gas, I think it's fantastic. So yeah, but Dookie.
Don't be afraid. Hey Matthew, this is Sam from Indiana. Question for you about your youth. I was wondering, with you traveling so much internationally as a young child, with your parents, growing up in different places, I wonder if you have any songs or bands that you hear today that kind of takes you back to that time when you were traveling international, or you were walking new areas or terrain or landscapes, jumping around from one different residence to the other. Intrigued by your travel as a youngster, and I find it fascinating and really exciting. So thanks. Good luck with the new record. Take care.
Hey Sam, thanks for the question. Well, the main thing that comes to mind when I think about traveling and music is that when I was 12, we moved to Paris for the second time. My parents took sabbatical years there, so every 7 years they lived somewhere else. So we lived in Paris when I was 5, and then when I was 12. And, I was starting a new school, new country, and I was nervous, and we got there sort of at the tail end of the summer, and my dad took my sister and I record shopping and offered to buy us one record each, and I chose Let It Be. And I listened to Let It Be every day, probably most of the day, maybe for 3 weeks straight, and really marked me because it was soundtracking nervousness and excitement, and it was my companion during that whole time. So when I hear Two of Us, which is my favorite song on that record, but I love them all, it really fills me with nostalgia and a feeling of comfort because those songs were my companions while I waited to start a new phase. Very grateful to that record for keeping me company there. Thanks for the question.
Hey, what's up, Matthew? It's Ben Beatles. Big fan. Yeah, I always wondered when you were recording your second album for Elektra, why was the record label so insistent on making you record a cover of Vitreous Humor's Why Are You So Mean to Me? Just curious if there's a good story behind that. Later.
Why are you so mean to me? So, it's a great question. When we were finishing The Proximity Effect, the folks at Elektra didn't think there was a single, and because there had been a single on the first record that they didn't have to promote very much, I bet they were hoping we had another either funny or novelty-ish song that would do well at radio, and they thought we didn't. So I always wondered if our A&R guy had a piece of the publishing of Why Are You So Mean to Me? I'm not sure. It's a fantastic song. It's absolutely great. Huge shout out and respect to the Vitreous Humor. I will say that their version is better than ours. I couldn't hit that super high note and we dropped it by a whole step, and it's just not as good. The original is fantastic and shouldn't have been. It wasn't, I'm not saying it shouldn't have been covered, but maybe not by us. But we weren't forced into it, but we were kind of stuck, and we're feeling like maybe our record wouldn't be released if we didn't at least try what they were suggesting. And in the end, it wasn't released anyway. So, of course, I wish we hadn't. But that's it. And I've met Danny Pound. Great band, great single. Go check it out. Why Are You So Mean to Me? Vitreous Humor.
Hey Matthew, Morley here. I'm always interested in an artist's approach to depicting life and the human experience as either the way that it is versus the way that it feels. When you're writing a song, what seems to hold more allegiance to you? Capturing life as it is and the truth of that, or the way that it feels, the skewed perspectives, like the emotionally colored views, the way that memory gets changed and distorted by the person who's remembering it. So the question is basically just when you're making your art, do you feel more allegiance to the way that life is or the way that life feels? And if that's too heady, here's an alternative question. M&Ms, do the different colors have different tastes, or are they all the same? Thanks so much. Looking forward to the new album. Take care. Bye.
Hey Morley, that's a great question. I think I probably spend more time thinking about how life feels rather than how it is. Probably because I feel more qualified to talk about how it feels. Everybody's completely qualified to talk about how it feels. How it is, sometimes I don't think I know very much. I don't really have a lot of facts. I didn't study history in school. I mean, I've got a grasp on everything that's going on, but it's pretty minor compared to a lot of people, and certainly people that I read. So I feel more impressionistic with regards to life anyway, and I don't think it's enough. I think writing about how it is super important, but thank goodness people are doing that. So I feel okay about not getting down to whatever work I would have to do to feel qualified to talk about how it is. And we all serve different roles, and I think talking about how it feels is something I'm interested in, so I'm more drawn to that. But thanks for the question.